Life often feels like a battlefield. We encounter external challenges, unexpected events, difficult people, and relentless pressures, but the most profound struggles are often internal. Self-doubt, fleeting desires, anxiety, and the chaos of conflicting emotions can feel overwhelming, pulling us away from clarity and purpose. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled during the 2nd century AD, understood these struggles intimately. As a leader tasked with governing the vast Roman Empire, he faced immense external pressures. Yet, his greatest conquest was not over his enemies, but over himself. For Marcus, the battle for self-mastery was the foundation of a meaningful life. Known as the philosopher king, Marcus Aurelius lived by the principles of Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes reason, resilience, and virtue as paths to inner peace. His personal writings, compiled in meditations, reveal a man deeply committed to mastering his own mind and actions. These reflections, never intended for publication, offer timeless insights into leadership, adversity, and the pursuit of tranquility amidst chaos. In today's fast-paced world, dominated by distractions and uncertainties, Marcus Aurelius's teachings are as relevant as ever. So how did a man burdened with the responsibilities of an empire become a timeless example of humility, wisdom, and resilience? Let's begin by exploring the life and legacy of Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who conquered himself. Born in 121 AD, Marcus was raised in a wealthy and influential family, yet his upbringing was marked by discipline and intellectual rigor. His early education exposed him to Greek and Roman philosophy, particularly the teachings of Stoicism, which would shape his life and rule. Adopted by Emperor Antoninus Pius as his heir, Marcus was groomed for leadership from a young age, absorbing not only the political skills required of a ruler, but also the moral and philosophical principles that would guide his decisions. When Marcus ascended to the throne in 161 AD, he did not rule alone. He shared power with his adoptive brother Lucius Verus, marking one of the few instances of co-emperorship in Roman history. While this arrangement was initially intended to stabilize governance, it came with its own complexities. Lucius was tasked with overseeing campaigns in the east, while Marcus handled internal matters and wars on the northern frontier. Despite their differing temperaments, Lucius was seen as more indulgent, while Marcus was disciplined. Their partnership ensured continuity during a period of significant challenges. The Roman Empire stretched across vast territories, encompassing diverse cultures, languages, and conflicts. Marcus faced military threats on multiple fronts, including invasions by Germanic tribes and unrest in the eastern provinces. Adding to these pressures was the outbreak of the Antonine Plague, a devastating epidemic that claimed millions of lives and destabilized the empire's economy and social structure. These external challenges mirrored his personal struggles as he endured the loss of multiple children and his own failing health. Despite these immense external pressures, Marcus Aurelius sought to rule with justice, wisdom, and humility. Unlike many rulers of his time, he did not view power as a privilege, but as a profound responsibility. His dedication to the well-being of his people, even amid personal hardship, reflected his deep commitment to Stoic ideals. He saw his role as emperor not as an opportunity for personal glory, but as a duty to act in accordance with virtue. Marcus's Meditations offers a glimpse into his inner world during this tumultuous time. Written in the midst of military campaigns and political crises, the work is not a treatise on governance, but a private and deeply personal journal of self-reflection. It reveals a man wrestling with the challenges of leadership while striving to align his actions with Stoic principles. Through these writings, Marcus repeatedly reminds himself to focus on what is within his control, to meet adversity with courage, and to prioritize the common good over personal ambition. Marcus Aurelius' philosophy was deeply rooted in Stoicism. a school of thought that emerged in ancient Greece and later flourished in Rome. At its core, Stoicism is a philosophy of practicality and resilience, teaching individuals to focus on what they can control, accept what they cannot, and live virtuously. In Meditations, Marcus distilled these principles into reflections that offered guidance for navigating life's complexities, both personal and political. One of the central tenets of Marcus Aurelius' Stoicism was the belief that true freedom lies in mastering one's mind. He wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." For Marcus, this meant maintaining a disciplined focus on reason and refusing to let external events dictate his emotions. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control the world around us, we can control how we perceive and respond to it. Marcus practiced this principle daily, often using his journal as a tool to reflect on his thoughts and reinforce rational thinking. This philosophy extended to how Marcus viewed adversity, which he saw not as something to be feared or resented, but as an essential part of the human experience. He famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This idea reflects the Stoic practice of reframing obstacles as opportunities for growth. For Marcus, challenges were necessary tests that strengthened his character and gave him the chance to practice virtues like courage, patience, and resilience. His reign, marked by military conflicts and the devastating Antonine Plague, is a testament to this mindset. Amidst relentless crises, Marcus maintained his composure, grounded in the belief that while we cannot control external events, we can always control our internal responses to them. The principle, known as the Dichotomy of Control, central to Stoicism, emphasizes the distinction between what we can and cannot influence. Marcus reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This perspective remains profoundly relevant today, teaching that life's hardships, though often unavoidable, do not define us. Our response to them does. By focusing on what lies within our control, our thoughts, attitudes, and actions, we, like Marcus, can transform even the most daunting challenges into opportunities for growth and wisdom. Living in harmony with nature was another foundational aspect of Marcus's Stoic philosophy. For the Stoics, this did not refer to the environment in a modern sense, but rather to accepting and aligning oneself with the natural order of the universe. Marcus often reflected on humanity's place in the greater whole, writing, "Observe always that everything is the result of change, and get used to thinking that there is nothing nature loves so well as to change existing forms and to make new ones like them." This principle helped him to accept impermanence and to see himself as part of a larger interconnected system. By understanding this, he found clarity in fulfilling his role as both a leader and a human being, approaching his duties without resistance to life's inevitable changes. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the fleeting nature of life, encapsulating the Stoic practice of memento mori, the reminder of mortality. Far from being morbid, this awareness was a call to live deliberately and meaningfully. In Meditations, he wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." By acknowledging the impermanence of life, Marcus urged himself to focus on what truly matters, living with virtue, kindness, and gratitude. He saw each day as an opportunity to act with purpose and to let go of trivial distractions that consume so much of our energy. In our fast-paced, goal-driven world, memento mori serves as a powerful tool to realign our priorities, inspiring us to approach life with clarity, urgency, and a commitment to what is truly meaningful. Central to Marcus's worldview was the belief that virtue is the highest good. For him, living well meant embodying the four cardinal virtues of Stoicism: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. For Marcus Aurelius, living with purpose was not an abstract ideal, but a daily practice of aligning one's actions with higher values. In Meditations, he urges himself, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This quote captures the essence of his philosophy. Virtue is found in action, not in theoretical debates or idle aspirations. Wisdom guided his decisions as a leader. Courage allowed him to face the immense challenges of his reign. Justice informed his treatment of others and his commitment to the common good. And temperance helped him to exercise self-control, avoiding indulgence in power or luxury. His writings reflect a relentless effort to act with integrity and remain virtuous, even under immense pressure. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on the virtues of simplicity, finding contentment not in external wealth or luxury, but in appreciating life's essentials. He writes, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." For Marcus, happiness was not dependent on material possessions or external circumstances, but on cultivating the right mindset, a perspective rooted in gratitude, moderation, and inner tranquility. As a Roman emperor, Marcus had access to immense power and privilege, yet he remained deeply aware of the dangers of indulgence and excess. He often reminded himself to focus on life's fundamental pleasures: the beauty of nature, the company of loved ones, and the satisfaction of living virtuously. His writings suggest that simplicity is not about deprivation, but about recognizing what is truly necessary and meaningful. By stripping away distractions and unnecessary desires, Marcus believed we could better connect with ourselves and the world around us. Another significant lesson from Marcus's philosophy is his approach to leadership. As an emperor, he viewed his role not as a privilege, but as a responsibility to serve others. He constantly reminded himself to act with humility, fairness, and a focus on the common good. In Meditations, he reflects on the qualities of a good ruler, emphasizing the need for justice, temperance, and the courage to make difficult decisions. This philosophy of servant leadership stands in stark contrast to the self-serving tendencies often associated with positions of power, offering a timeless model for ethical governance and leadership in any context. A particularly striking lesson from Marcus's writings is his approach to dealing with difficult people. Aware of the inevitability of encountering arrogance, ingratitude, and hostility, he wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." Far from encouraging cynicism, this reflection reminds us to approach others with understanding and patience. It acknowledges human flaws while urging us to rise above them, to respond to negativity with composure and integrity. Contrary to popular misconceptions, Stoicism does not advocate for being emotionless. Instead, it emphasizes the importance of understanding and managing emotions. Marcus Aurelius, like other Stoic philosophers, did not see emotions as inherently bad or something to be eradicated. Instead, he viewed them as natural human experiences that must be understood and managed through the use of reason. For Marcus, emotions were deeply tied to our perceptions of the world. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." In other words, our emotions are not automatic reactions to events, but are shaped by how we interpret them. By changing our perspective, we can transform how we feel. Take anger, for example, a subject Marcus reflected on often. He warned himself against the destructive power of anger, writing, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it." For Marcus, anger was a wasteful emotion, rooted in unrealistic expectations of others or the world. Instead of succumbing to it, he encouraged himself, and by extension us, to pause, reflect, and respond with understanding rather than frustration. This approach wasn't about suppressing anger, but about using reason to master it. Similarly, Marcus acknowledged that emotions are fleeting. He often reminded himself of the transience of all things, emotions included. In meditations, he reflected on the brevity of life and the impermanence of our feelings, encouraging himself to focus on what truly mattered, living virtuously and rationally. This perspective helped him detach from intense emotional reactions, allowing him to remain composed even under immense pressure. But Marcus didn't advocate for emotional detachment in the cold sense. He believed in the importance of compassion and empathy. He also valued positive emotions like gratitude. He often reflected on the blessings in his life, being alive, having a rational mind, and the opportunity to act justly. Gratitude, for Marcus, wasn't just a passive feeling. It was an active practice that helped him maintain balance and perspective, even amidst the hardships of his reign. For Marcus Aurelius, the key to mastering emotions lay not in denying their existence, but in understanding their origins and channeling them constructively. Through reflection and reason, he demonstrated how we can transform even the most disruptive emotions into opportunities for growth and alignment with our highest values. His reflections remind us that while we cannot always control how we feel, we can always choose how we respond. As Marcus himself demonstrated, the path to self-mastery and fulfillment lies in the choices we make, moment by moment. His enduring message is a call to live intentionally, to embrace life fully, and to meet each day with the courage to be our best selves. In the end, Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the path to conquering ourselves lies not in the absence of struggle, but in our response to it. His philosophy calls us to reflect on our choices, embrace our imperfections, and strive for excellence in every moment. As we carry these lessons forward, we might ask ourselves, how can we apply Marcus's wisdom to our own lives? And how can we, like him, rise above the chaos and live in harmony with reason, virtue, and the greater good? Thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and share your thoughts in the comments below.